Glad to have
travel.
you join us. Oh, thank you. I needed to record this for people who weren't here. Thank you for that, Saeed. Good call. Marty, you're next, and Michelle Adams is up on deck. Marty.
Hi, everyone. I'm Marty Caspers, and I actually live in the Seattle area. And my buddy Tom is there in the room. And we're travel buddies. And our last trip was in Puerto Vallarta during COVID. And I travel for work, so I've been traveling quite a bit.
Yeah, and thank you for that. Thank you, Christina, for your comment. I know it's hard for the people to hear the people in the room. So the only thing that matters is what I say. It's our laptop, like the microphone, you have to be in front of it. So I apologize for that, but you'll be able to hear Saeed and me. So they've all said wonderful things. So thank you for the comment, though. Michelle Adams and Christina Watson, you're on deck.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Michelle Adams.
Michelle, my bad. Thank
Yes.
you. Never make that mistake again. Michelle.
That's okay. That's
so much
okay.
better.
I have never traveled with the chamber, and my last trip was Thailand.
Awesome. That was one of our last trips too. Good.
Mine too in 2019. Yeah.
That's when we went too. Were you riding that elephant up in the mountain? I thought I recognized it.
I did.
All right. Thank you, Michelle. Christina.
Thank you.
Hi all, Christina Watson, and I travel a lot, but I literally can't remember the last international trip I took because it was so long ago, but I've never traveled with the chamber despite my desire to do so. I'm excited about this opportunity.
The stars are lining up. Madam X, or whoever the X is, they're undercover, I guess, and Gina Arnold's on deck.
Hey, how's it going? My name's Misha. I'm actually Michelle's cousin. She told me about the trip. I'm looking for South Africa and Dubai, but the last overseas trip I took was last year during COVID, just right in the beginning, and it was to India for the Holi Festival.
Wow, fantastic. Thanks for sharing, and thanks for joining us, Misha. Gina and Mercedes is on deck. We're almost done with this.
Hi, my name is Gina. I've not traveled with the chamber previously. I've known Paul my whole life, and last trip was Costa Rica.
Yeah, that's cool. Awesome. Well, a lot of people going to Costa Rica. All right, thanks, Gina. Mercedes and Sue is the last one. So Mercedes, go ahead.
Alrighty. Hi, everyone. My name is Mercedes Leon. I have not traveled with the chamber before, and my last trip was to Spain.
Great. Thank you, Mercedes. And Sue.
Hi, I'm Sulie Avery, and I've never traveled with the chamber, but I heard it was a lot of fun. And my last trip, I'm on my way home right now from San Jose.
I was there today too. So thank you for joining us, Sue. So thanks to everybody. Those of you who are online, if you want to send me an email to president@salinaschamber.com, it's also on our website and on the brochure. Sometimes I'll send out notes about the trip. And if you have any questions, you can always email me about it. So with all that said, what can I say? I've been the CEO of I'm going to introduce Saeed in a moment. I'm going to make up lots of things that make him sound fantastic. Not that he needs my help with that. But about me, I've been the CEO of the chamber here for over 9 years. Before I took over, the chamber was going to stop doing these trips because they would only have like 8 people go on the trip. And they thought it's a lot of work, and the chamber makes a little bit of money, but it's not worth it for them. And when I became the CEO in 2012, I said, "Are you kidding me? We're doubling down. I like to travel. We're going." So my first trip was to Italy. We had 40 people. We've been so successful that when we went to the Amalfi Coast, we had 100 people. I just split it into 2 groups and 2 different dates, and we filled up the whole hotel and went into another hotel. I'm like, okay, these people are crazy. So then what I started doing after that was doing 2 trips a year. And so we did that. We did Argentina and Brazil, which was phenomenal. And we did Thailand that year too. And then last year, I don't remember what happened last year. Just pretend, no. So we had 2 trips planned for last year. We weren't planning to go to South Africa, except that we had a lot of people signed up for Australia. We were going to go on this fantastic trip to Australia and Fiji. We were also excited. And then they had all these fires in Australia in January. And people were like, oh my gosh, the air quality's bad. Are we going to be able to go? And I, ever the one for reason, I said, we still have plenty of time. Don't worry about it. And then They had these torrential downpours, the 100-year rains, put all the fires out. And I said, oh, we're good. We could go to Australia. And then February happened. And we're like, what's going on in China? And then March came and I'm like, okay, you guys want to be worried about something, it's this. And little did we know, in March, of course, the pandemic shut everything down. It shut down the possibility to go to Australia. We waited for this year. We are where we are now. Saeed will talk about the situation. What can you plan on in this world, except that we only have so much time and we better travel when we can, if we feel secure with it. That's my attitude. But Australia is not opening anytime soon. You know, they have someone sneezes and they shut down the country. So it is our hope that we'll be able to go sometime. But this trip actually came about because Saeed and I said, look, we've got to find a different place because, you know, people had paid their money and we wanted to travel. And so we talked about a number of different destinations. We presented those to the 40 plus people who were planning to go to Australia. It was very clear they wanted to go on this trip. And some people said, you know, I want to go on that South African safari even more than Australia. So this started out as a backup trip. Now I'm going to segue over into Saeed, who's going to talk a little bit about his company, about the trip. There are things going on in South Africa right now, which we've talked about. There's COVID still out there, fortunately. You know, we have vaccinations here and whatnot, but I've asked him to address the hard questions as well. So we'll talk about the fun and what we expect and about the, you know, money and all that other stuff. So with that said, I will say that Saeed Parker is he's very experienced. He comes from the travel industry. He worked with airlines for 20 plus years. He's worked with Indus for a number of years, because I don't know the number, but a number of years he's worked for them. And we went on a trip with Indus to Thailand, and a number of you went on that trip. So I've known Saeed now for a few years. And part of the reason that I choose to work with him and Indus is because they're so aggressive with where you get to go at the price points that you get to go. You don't get to go on a South African safari for the cost of what we're able to offer this for. So there's a lot of value there. I go on the trips myself and I make sure, as you can see here, we spend a little bit of time so you can all get to know each other. But anybody who's gone on a trip will tell you, we build friendships here. If people are traveling by themselves or whatnot, you end up having a bunch of friends by the end of the trip. I'm very proud of that. And I just found out, for those who went to Thailand, I just found out the other day that Ron and Rebecca are getting married in like next week or something. Didn't you tell me that? Well, who told me that? Someone told me that. I'm not taking credit for their marriage. They already knew each other before the trip. But anyway, so with all that said, I'm going to pass it over to Saeed. And Saeed, you've got your presentation. I have it here as a backup, but you're co-host, so take it away, Mr. Parker.
Just before I start, how much time do I have? We got 51 slides.
All right. So let's say we're going to end a little over 7 because so let's say you have half an hour and then we'll do questions in like 15 minutes. Does that sound good? So we'll aim for 7:15. I have to stop talking and I will, so we can get out of here. So aim for half an hour for the presentation. Does that sound okay?
Can you turn up his voice?
I will put the volume as loud as I can here.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can see your screen, and people online, everybody can see your screen now. And Saeed, just make sure you're loud because we're working off of my speaker on my computer here.
Right, okay, so I'll go straight because I am supposed to now finish 51 slides in about 33 minutes. So I will skip a few things here and there.
All right.
First of all, thank you very much, Salinas Valley Chamber, as well as all the patrons who have come together for an amazing trip, which is going to South Africa and Dubai. And the departure date is going to be November the 3rd, 2021. The objective today, obviously, is to present the Chamber of the Chamber South Africa and Dubai trip. So you understand the features, know the facts, and value, this fascinating tour at what an excellent price it is being offered to you. The agenda on our presentation today is that your trip begins on day 1 with your flight, very long flight, by the way, from San Francisco to Dubai, and I'll speak about it in my slides, which will come through. Then I'll be speaking quickly about some facts and knowledge on South Africa. I'll skip UAE because UAE trip is just about 2 nights and 3 days. And UAE is very well known. I know it, as the back of my hand, so I can answer your questions later. There will be some tour highlights, what is included, not included. The narration of the tour South Africa from day 3 to 10, and about the Dubai tour from day 10 to 13. One single slide on who we are, Indus Travel, something how to book and general information, a bit about the passport, visa, health, currency, weather information. There will be a 3 minutes video presentation on South Africa and about 2.5 minutes in Dubai, time permitting. And then we will take Q&A, which is not part of this time. This part, time of my presentation is 23 minutes minus the question and answer. So without further ado, South Africa, Africa, first of all, as a continent,
I have one.
It can cover 13 countries, including United States, China, and India, and the whole of Eastern Europe. And you can put UK or United Kingdom or Great Britain, that can cover the island of Madagascar. South Africa itself, and I have placed it over here on the map, as you can see, is slightly less than twice the size of Texas. So just for comparison purpose, this is the map of South Africa, which is right here, which has been placed on top of United States map. Some interesting facts about South Africa. It's a parliamentary republic, and the official name is RSA, or Republic of South Africa. It is one unique country which has got 3 capitals. It has got a capital, which is Pretoria. Then it has got a legislative capital, which is Cape Town. And then it has got a judicial capital, which is the Bloemfontein. Its population is 57 million, 86% Christians, and 5.4% other African religions. Official language, there are 13 official languages in South Africa, but English is widely spoken in English, one of the 13 official languages. The money that is available in South Africa is called Rand, and it's 3-letter code like we have USD, there's ZAR. As of today, 1 United States dollar will get you 14.5 rands. The literacy of the country, that means anybody who is age 15 and over, they can read and write, is about 87%, which is quite good. The area that it covers is 470,000 square miles. The seas that it, or the oceans rather, is the Atlantic Ocean on its, if you're looking at the map, then on its left, and the Indian Ocean on its right. Its coastline is huge, 1,739 miles of coastline. On the northern side, as you can see my cursor is going here, it borders Botswana, Lesotho, Mozambique, Namibia, and Zimbabwe. Because this is a Chamber of Commerce presentation, I'd like to present these facts because there may be some members, who are interested in knowing natural resources that the country has is gold, chromium, antimony, coal, iron ore, manganese, nickel, phosphate, tin, earth elements, uranium, gem diamonds, platinum, that is the largest producer of platinum on the face of the earth, and some natural gas. Per capita income of South Africa is 12,500. The GDP is 731.
Saeed, excuse the interruption, but let's skip the economy and see where we want to go. I think,
Okay.
sorry, not to be rude or anything, but in the interest of time, we'll take the quiz later.
All right.
Thank you.
Some interesting facts. You want to skip this also?
We're all thinking it. All right, go ahead, Saeed.
Shall I skip this, the interesting facts also?
Yeah, let's skip through that, and I'll share things with them later. So,
all right, okay.
Let's see where we're going and hotels and sites and things like that. Let's emphasize that.
All right,
Please.
okay. So here we go. So we have this trip, which is going on November the 3rd, which is not very far, just about 3 months and about 20 days. The South Africa and Dubai. And the itinerary of this trip is going to be from San Francisco to Johannesburg. Obviously, there's no direct flight. It'll be going via Dubai. But where you're stopping are these. From there, you're going to a place called Hazy Wave, which is on the outskirts of the Kruger National Park. From there, you will be going to Stellenbosch, which is the winelands of South Africa, the world famous winelands, you know. From there, you will be coming back to Cape Town, then to Dubai and back to San Francisco. The trip is going for $3,399 per person on double occupancy basis. And should somebody want to stay on a single occupancy basis, that means one person in a room and not sharing, that person will have to pay $699 extra, whereby that person will be able to stay in a single room for him or herself.
And let me jump in real quick right there. If you're a single traveler and you want a partner, then let me know, because a lot of times I get usually some women who might want to save the extra money and have a roommate, and I'll introduce you guys. So just let me know if that's the case with you. Thank you, Saeed. Go ahead.
So from San Francisco to Dubai, and there is a high probability, I'm not committing this as yet, but there's a high probability because we don't have a booking as yet. When we have booking, then we can talk about flights. But if we get, say, by tomorrow, say 20 bookings, then we can tell you for sure that this is going to be a Emirates flight. But the high probability, almost I can say 99%, it's going to be a nonstop flight from San Francisco to Dubai, which is going to take 15 hours and 35 minutes nonstop. Then we have a transit in Dubai, and I'm going to speak about it. And then we will be going from Dubai down to South Africa, and we'll be going to Johannesburg, as you can see down there. So we are still flying on day 2, and that flight is 8 hours and 20 minutes. In between, you have got about 9 hours of transit. That transit is deliberately long because you cannot do a flight of 15.5 hours and then another 8 hours and 20 minutes flight without breaking a journey and without, you know, stretching your legs and walking around and doing. And Dubai Airport is a city within itself. You know, it has got an unbelievable amount of entertainment and eateries and restaurants, and you know, you have almost flat beds, you know, benches, I mean, comfortable benches where in the darker area where you can lie down and sleep if you wish, and things of the sort. So if we took Emirates Airline, then we will be flying on November 3rd on an Emirates flight, which will be an Airbus 380, which is the super double-decker jumbo, at 4:45 p.m. in the afternoon, and will arrive, again, I'm saying if we took this, we will arrive at 7:25 p.m. on November the 4th in Dubai. And then at 4:40 in the morning, which is 9 hours, we will be taking an 8 hours flight from Dubai to Johannesburg, which will bring us Johannesburg local time at 10:55 on November the 5th. On our
let me jump in for a second, if I could. Could you go back to the slide where it shows how far we're flying? All right, got that one right there. Woo! All right, you're all going to get an Olympic medal from me if we go on this flight. I will tell you, it's a lot of flying. But you know, Diane, when we went to Thailand, we had a lot of flying to get over there, and it's a lot. There's no two ways about it. It is nonstop all the way over there. So I hope for those of you who want to take a sleeping pill or have a little drinky, you know, but it's a long flight because we're flying to the other side of the world, basically. And I would say, yeah, extra deodorant, please. I would say also that, well, why are we flying over there to go down here? It's because they have a special deal with that airline. And I want to clarify a couple of things. When he says transit, here we say layover. So that's a longer layover when he says transit. So we fly all the way over there. Then we have this big, beautiful airport, which Saeed is making sound as nice as you possibly can. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking I might sign up for one of those airlines where you get to go into that cocktail lounge and have whatever you want. I'm like, we better investigate that because, you know, so that's not included with this, but we better figure stuff out like that. But
approximately the time of that layover?
15 hours of a flight, 15.5 hours. And then he said the layover was like 9 hours. So that's long enough to do things there. Like you said, you don't want to fly all there and go, get off this plane, get on that one. You're like, shoot me now. Shoot me now. So we'll have some time there. Some of these airports, like he was saying, it's like a city unto itself. So there's a lot of stuff to do.
Yep.
There will be a layover there. Now, he said that sometimes when you have a layover that's so long, you might say, well, heck, let me go out and do something. You can do that, but you got to be back in the airport at the right time. So we'll talk about that later. The other thing is what Saeed is saying is a sample schedule. We don't know how many people are going to sign up for this trip. Based on the number who are in this room and on the phone, I'm going to guess we're going to end up with 30, somewhere around there, 30 to 40, probably not bigger than that. Once they get those numbers and people pay their deposits, that's when they get the actual flights. Right now, he's just looking what it might look like, because I told him, I know it's going to be a tough flight. And let's be honest, some people are like, I'm out. I don't want to be on a flight that long. But there's other advantages to it. It's a good airline. We're going to get to go to Dubai, which he's going to talk to you about. To me, I look at it as kind of 2 trips in one. I wouldn't have gone to Dubai alone by itself. But if we're going to go to Dubai on the way to the South African safari, well, great. Let's spend a couple days in Dubai as well. So I don't mean to interrupt Saeed's presentation, but I want to be clear. The flight don't be bitching at me when we're over there and you're like, farmer, you buy me a cocktail. Maybe I'll buy you a cocktail. But the flight's going to be a lot to get over there. We also have time changes. So you lose time one direction and you get it back the other. So we'll be clear about it. These are sample schedules, but you should figure one long nonstop flight. Then we got time to hang out and do whatever in the airport, or maybe slide into Dubai for a few hours if you want. And then we get back and then we fly to South Africa. So
Okay. One more thing is that out of these 4 flights, 4, as you can see over here, 380, it stands for 380 double-decker super jumbo. And 1 is 777 wide body aircraft. So it's a very comfortable aircraft, to put it that way. A lot of, you can go, and especially when you're in a bigger group, you can move around and things like that. It's not, okay.
It's not
10 minutes extra now. Okay, please.
JetBlue. It's not JetBlue. We'll hold the questions mostly till the end, but you have a question about that?
All right, let me continue on. What's included in this trip is international round trip airfare from San Francisco, regional airfare from South Africa to Dubai, domestic airfare from Johannesburg to Cape Town, 9 nights accommodation at the listed Orshimilla Hotel, daily buffet breakfast, 2 dinners at the Kruger at the Hazy Wave, service of local English-speaking guides, arrival and departure transfers, sightseeing and entrance fees as per the itinerary, which has been specified in the brochure that you may have in the front, or it will be available on Salinas Valley Chamber's website through a link. Transportation in luxury air-conditioned coaches and all taxes, fuel surcharges, and local applicable taxes, except in Dubai, which I'm going to speak. There is one city tax, which is of small amount. It's going to be in the range of about $5 or less than 5 per day, but that's payable directly to the Dubai hotel.
So Saeed, quick question. Is it okay if I send a PDF of the presentation by email to the people who are attending?
Yes,
Is that
you can.
okay?
Absolutely, yes.
All right, so we'll do that. I just want to add one quick thing to that. A lot of times we usually just have the flight over is included in the flight back, and then we take buses around when we're in a country. But if you look at the maps of where we're going, to be able to go to the safari, we're going to have a short flight domestically, but we're not putting you on a bus for 8 hours after all that.
I'm gonna
you'll have more time to be able to look at those details of how far away everything is. But all of that stuff is really included, which makes it a great value to be able to see all the stuff we're seeing in that time. Thank you, Saeed. Go ahead.
All right. Okay. What is not included is any item of personal nature, trips and gratuities, optional excursions, which I'm going to speak, travel insurance, baggage fees. If you went Emirates, there is no baggage fee. But, you never know what can hold, after the COVID. So I'm just being careful here. Visa fees, which is not applicable for both the countries, not for the US passport holder. And what is not included, like I said, that is a city tourism fee in Dubai. And you're only staying 2 nights, which is 20 AED, which stands for the UAE dirham. It comes to about $5 per night. Items not listed, any other item which is not listed, and the inclusion is not there also. On day 3, you arrive in Johannesburg, and you will be received by a tour guide, and you will be checking in your hotel. The Johannesburg hotel that we are staying is called the Piermont Mondier Hotel. And this picture on the right up here is the external picture. And this picture at the left bottom over here is the picture of a room. I'm not saying this is going to be a room, but this is an actual picture from the hotel in Hazy Wave, which is on at the gates of the Kruger Game Reserve Park, and Kruger is the best in the world. That hotel is called the Proti Hotel at Kruger Gate, and this picture is actually the picture of one of the room from the hotel at the Kruger's gate. what I'm going to do upon arrival is that there is a half-day Johannesburg optional tour. And that, again, is time permitting, and it's $55 per person on seat on a coach basis. These two pictures are from the city of Johannesburg. Again, city of Johannesburg, pictures up here, and I'm going to push this through because I want to catch up with the time. Also, the city.
And Saeed, let's be a little more relaxed on the time so that you don't feel too rushed. So maybe we'll get out 7:30, but I don't want to rush you too much, especially when I keep interrupting. So go ahead. It's important. So go ahead. You can calm down a little bit. Not too much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm just showing you the pictures because pictures speak for themselves, right? So
And I want to be able to make bad jokes. Like, do we get to meet Nelson Mandela?
Yeah, in that.
I need to be able to make my joke. Go ahead.
Okay. And again, some pictures of Johannesburg here. On day 4, we will be leaving in the morning and we will go on our way in a coach from Johannesburg to Hazy Wave. But before we go there, we will be passing through the town of Soweto, which is a township, of over 2 million people. We are going to drive past the Hector Peterson Museum and the Mandela House also before we go there. And we arrive in about 2 hours and a few minutes journey, going through the Mpumalanga region, and we will finally arrive at the Hazy Way, which is in the outskirts of Kruger National Park. Now, Kruger is the address when we talk about the safaris of the world. It is supposed to be the best, and I'll speak about it when I'll reach that slide. We will be doing an overnight at the hotel, of which I showed you the images in my slides a few, I think, at the Kruger Gate in a place called Hazy Wave. Next day morning, which is gonna be day 5. Sorry, before we go there, these are some more pictures. This is the Mandela House, which we'll be passing through on our way to Hazy Wave. This is that Mpumalanga region picture. It's a beautiful, beautiful region. We may not be able to see this view, but this is actually from the region. And there's one more picture coming also here on the right, is from that region up here. So South Africa is a great country where you can do any sorts of holiday in one single country, and that is why South Africa is so very popular. On day 5, when we wake up in the morning, it will be a game day at the world-renowned park, which is the Kruger National Park. There are 147 mammal species that is supposed to be in that park over there, including all the big 5. And when we say big 5, in the safari language, what it means is the lions, the elephants, the buffaloes, the leopards, and the rhinos, which are black and white. You will be taken, I will show the picture a bit, but you can upgrade here to an open vehicle safari for $100 additional. Otherwise, you will be sitting in a different kind of transportation, which is still kind of semi-open from the side, you can see, and I'll show you a picture 2 slides down the line. This is an actual picture which you may or may not encounter when you are going on a safari. Again, the rhinos that I spoke about, one of the big 5, which you may be lucky to see. The cheetah up here, which is resting. This is the leopard. And, the buffaloes, which is also counted into the big 5 because they're huge, as a matter of fact, they're counted in the big 5 of South Africa. Of course, the buddy elephant over here. This vehicle gives you a very, correct picture of what do we mean by an open vehicle safari. This is the one, as you can see over here, because the other picture is not very clear, but this is how you will be looking at the animals when you get to see them. Otherwise, you will be in a kind of coach like this, which you can see that people can still peek outside because sitting on both sides, able to see, but this is how it will be. And this is also, this is included in the picture in the price of your tour. Again, one picture of the open vehicle safari over here, for which is available for $100 extra. So on day 6, we're done with this the entire day. We will be doing the safari. We'll come back into the hotel and we will sleep. Your dinners are included in both the nights in the Hazy Wave, and plus, of course, breakfasts are always included. Joe, lunches you'll have to buy. On day 6, we will be, traveling back to Joburg Airport or Johannesburg Airport from the Kruger National Park's outskirts, which is about, again, 2 hours journey. And then we will check in a flight. Your guide will say goodbye to you because this guide is only staying with you from within the Joburg and the Kruger area. He's going to say goodbye to you, and you will take a 2.5 hours domestic flight, of which the picture appears over here. So Johannesburg is where my cursor is just now, and Cape Town is on the southwestern tip of South Africa, or the continent of Africa also, and this is a 2.5 hour flight. Upon arrival in Cape Town, we are not staying in Cape Town, but we are again taking a coach and transferring to the Stellenbosch area, which is the most famous winelands of the world. I'm going to speak to you about it when we'll come to that slide again. In this area, we're going to stay at the Spear Hotel. And I can see over here, coach to Stellenbosch. The wine country is about 2 hours of journey after your arrival into Cape Town. You will be this is the Spear Hotel picture over here, where you will be in the Stellenbosch area. You can relax, or you can take optional tours in Stellenbosch, which I'm going to speak to you about in the next slide. So on day 7, which we are still continuing day 7, you can take a full day wineland tours for $85 on a seat on a coach basis. This is a beautiful, beautiful trip because, like I said, especially Stellenbosch area's wine and South Africa's wines in general are the world famous wine, and it's one of the biggest wineries that you get to see in South Africa, in the world, when you arrive in this area. Plus, it has got a lot of, nature and history and, some architecture from the Dutch and the Brits, who ruled the country in their own times.
Saeed, what did that taking the optional tour on an SIC basis? What was SIC again?
Seat in a coach basis.
Seat in coach. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Again, pictures of the Stellenbosch area. Some of the wineries, as you can see, which you will be, visiting. The details of this trip, optional tours, are available again on your brochure, and it's also available online on the link that we have provided you, which Paul might have already uploaded on Chamber's website, and if not, I'm sure he's going to do it, or he's going to send it to you on an email. On day 8, we will be driving back from Stellenbosch back to Cape Town. So again, 2 hours of drive. We come back to Cape Town, and there will be a half-day orientation tour of the city of Cape Town. We will be staying at the Southern Sun Waterfront Hotel, and these are the actual pictures of the hotels. The room, the picture from external, and the swimming pool on this side. Same day 8, we are still on day 8. Remember, this is day 8 here. So upon arrival, you are now doing, a trip or a city orientation Cape Town. In that, you have one optional tour which is not included, which is the cable car to the Table Mountain. Now, Table Mountain is one of the most scenic, scenery that you will be able to see when you go on top, because you are at the tip of, African continent, and it is a world famous thing. And this is weather permitting, because if things are too strong, then they do not operate cable cars. And that is the only transport or the mode whereby you will be able to go. This is a picture of the beach of the Cape Town. It's a beautiful city. Cape Town is one of the most beautiful and picturesque city of the world that I have seen around, and I've been to 58 countries, and the number of towns or cities I visited, I don't remember the count anymore. These are some of the pictures of Cape Town over here, and you are staying in a hotel which is actually a waterfront hotel. Some more picture. This is the cable car, which takes you up to the Table Mountain. The city of Cape Town, which can be seen on both, go on the top, and it's spread across this mountain on both the sides, and you'll be able to see all this from up there. On day 8, what you have done, the orientation tour is in the morning. you have an afternoon and you're not tired anymore because you just taken a 2 hours coach. You're sitting in a coach, you're only doing your orientation by sitting in that coach, and then you have done Table Mountain. If you have, if you have chosen to do that, in the afternoon, you have an optional tour, which is a half-day Robben Island tour. This is where Nelson Mandela was imprisoned for some 28 years or even longer. I can't remember this. I apologize. I don't remember this at this. This is $60 per person. And again, weather permitting, because you are supposed to take a ferry from the mainland and you're supposed to arrive at the Robben Island. And this picture on the right at the bottom is actually the cell where Nelson Mandela was imprisoned for such a long time of his life. On day 9, this is something highly recommended by me. If you did not do anything else, I say spend this $115 and go to the tip, the southernmost tip of the African continent, which is called the Cape of Good Hope. Now, when you go up here, you will be able to see, because now you're facing south. So on your right, you have Atlantic Ocean, and on your left, you have the Indian Ocean. And you will be able to actually make that the ocean waters are, they're different. They're not meeting each other. So you'll see slightly color difference between the Indian Ocean on your left and the Atlantic Ocean on the right. And also it's a very, very scenic trip that you will take all the way, going to the mountains and going through, some beautiful landscapes. You'll be able to see some penguins and some other thing. Again, the details of these trips are available in the brochure and online. And that's why I'm skipping them. I'm not talking about them over here. On day 9, the other option that you may want to do, some of you who are not faint-hearted, is a dive with the shark encounter.
What the hell do you get for the original price?
Sorry?
What do you get for the original price? All I see is options everywhere.
You get the flights all the way, going to Dubai, going to South Africa. You get the Kruger National Park, you get the safari, you get they stay at the Johannesburg Hotel, you get the Soweto Township, you get the Cape Town orientation tour. All that is included that I've spoken to you about.
I'm done. I'm out.
The additional and optional things. So this white shark encounter is $235. They put you on a cage and they lower you into the water down there, and the great whites actually come and they feed them from the top and things like that, which is $235. And hardly 5% of the people will have the courage of doing this. On day 10, you will be flying from Cape Town to Dubai. Upon arrival, your morning in Cape Town is at leisure, and then you will be taking an afternoon flight from Cape Town and arrive in Dubai on the morning. Next day, this picture is on the left is of the Cape Town airport. This huge airport on your right is the Dubai airport. Upon arrival in Dubai, your tour will continues. These are some of the pictures of Dubai airport, and I'm deliberately showing them to you because on your way to Johannesburg, you are spending a few hours over here. So I'm just showing you how huge is the airport and how many facilities do they have. They have number of eateries and things like that. Upon arrival, you will be doing a half-day sightseeing tour. So you'll be storing your luggage because you're arriving a bit early. The check-in does not start before 2 p.m. So you will be storing your luggage at the hotel. You can use the facilities at the hotel if you wish to. And then you will be embarking on a half-day sight tour of Dubai. And these are some of the images from the city of Dubai. This is the one of the only 2 7-star hotel of the world, which is the hotel up here on the left. This is one of the famous landmark of Dubai, which is called the Jumeirah Mosque. This is the gold souk. Souk stands for a bazaar or a market. And this is one place where you have not seen the amount of gold at one single place in any other place but in Dubai, and Dubai is world famous for this gold souk over here. You have tons and tons of gold jewelry made of the not the, 8 and 9 and 10 carats, but almost 24 carats. And this is what is very popular in that area. This is the bazaar of the spices, one of the shops, that I have taken a snap and I have put it over here. Again, some more pictures. This is an old city, which is called Bastakia in Dubai. It's an old township from like 200 years old. This picture on the top over here, because Dubai tends to get very, very hot, 110 degrees, in summer. This is the wind type, the wind tower over here. So you can see the gap on the top over here from where the air enters, it cools down by the time it reaches, and people rest in the area down there. This is before the air conditions are introduced, obviously. Again, the picture of a gold souk over here and the picture of the hotel on your left of Dubai. In the afternoon, now again, we have already included a city tour of Dubai in the morning. Afternoon, you have another optional tour. And this is called the desert safari. Why we call it safari is because you are taken either in a Nissan Safari or a Toyota Land Cruiser. These two cars are the largest four-wheel, strongest car that you get on face of the earth when it comes to, these kind of expeditions. And they go on huge sand dunes. And these drivers are experts. This is what they do for a living. They go in such a huge, at first, such a fast speed going up and down that you feel as if you are taking a roller coaster ride. And they actually go, a number of the cars go together because every car, there are only about 4 people allowed and the driver. You are wearing a seatbelt, and these are taken. Once you're done with the desert safari, then you're abroad. This is out of Dubai, in the middle of desert, of course. So they have a tent set up over here where there will be, your dinner will be served, which will be barbecue dinner. But before that, you will be offered some camel rides. You will be offered some henna painting on your hand, and you will have a barbecue dinner, and there will be a belly dancer who will entertain you. There are drinks available also at this particular place, which is called the Desert Safari. It's one of the things everybody who goes to Dubai, they would like to do.
If I like you, I'd go to your room and give you a private show. Saeed, the people here wanted clarification. I am not the belly dancer, but I can be.
Have a busy night.
I will have a very busy night.
All right. Okay. What kind of clarification?
I was saying you said there would be belly dancing, and I was kind of starting to belly dance here, so I'm just making another one of my bad jokes. You carry on.
Because I put the camera off in order for for me to see the entire screen, so I'm not able to see. I'm so sorry.
That's a good thing. Your eyes will thank you later.
Okay. Day 12, you have again your day leisure. Dubai has got so much to do. You will be staying in a city center hotel. You just take a cab, go around. You have the Mall of the Emirates. You have the Jumeirah Plaza. You have the beaches. You have 1,000 things there. There is the trains available that you can do, very comfortable trains. You can do things on your own, or you have 2 optional tours. Either you can take a full day tour of Abu Dhabi. These 2 pictures that appear on the top. Now, Abu Dhabi happens to be the capital of United Arab Emirates. But Dubai is the world famous place because Dubai is the commercial capital, and Dubai, to whom it belongs, the airline of Emirates belongs to, and they have done so much into tourism. That's why Dubai is on the map. And a lot of people do not know about Abu Dhabi, but it is getting there. So if you wish, you can go on an Abu Dhabi tour, or there is also an expo will be happening. This expo was supposed to be the 157 nations come for this expo, and actually people travel from around the globe in order to go for the expo, not for the expo, because it is such a popular thing. It was supposed to happen in 2020. Thanks to COVID-19, it did not happen. They still are calling it Expo 2020, but it's being held from mid of October until about January of 2022. So when you are in Dubai, if you wish, you can go to Dubai Expo. We will be selling you the ticket of Dubai Expo. Transport is not included, for $30 if you wish. These are some of the pictures of Abu Dhabi again, an aerial view of Abu Dhabi here. the Corniche and Abu Dhabi, because it is again on the Gulf Arabian Sea. They also have got a Ferrari World. This is the one unique thing in the world. Unfortunately, we do not have the time in one day to go over here, but a place to reckon with is called the Ferrari World, and it's an amusement park, also Ferrari World. You know, perhaps sometime again in future, if we go another trip, we'll try and make
my flight home. Where is he? He's in Ferrari World.
This is the only Ferrari World in the world. In the world, there's no other Ferrari World anywhere else in the world. One more, you know, very popular landmark of Dubai is the Abu Dhabi Grand Mosque. You know, and these are some of the picture of the Grand Mosque. As you see, it is really grand and beautiful. And this is included in your trip if you took the trip to Abu Dhabi. These are some of the pictures of the World Expo World Dubai UAE, and they call it the world's greatest show. It starts from October the 1st of 2021, ends on March the 31st of 2022. And it's a huge place, like I told you, 157 nations come and exhibit over here with the cultural shows, with, you know, eateries, with shopping, and you can name it. You can read again the details in the brochure that we have provided over there, or you can even Google it. Talking about Indus Travel, we are a small tour group company in the sense that we do not believe in making a group size which is big, like, you know, not 40 and 50 people. So if you have, like, you know, more than 30, 34 people, like you have 40 people, we prefer to break it into two groups. That means we'll be giving you 2 coaches, 2 guides, and things like that. You may be staying in the same hotel. Why? It's because we believe that when you have a very large group, A, is that you're not able to hear the guide very well. You will have somebody, a troublemaker, you know, who's delaying the entire group and things of this sort. We did 207 chamber trips last year. Last year means not 2020, because there was no 2020 in the travel industry's calendar. We did not have 2020, airlines and travel industry. So this was 2019 when we did 207 chambers of commerce groups. We are a privately owned independent business. Therefore, our decisions come very quickly. For example, some of you may want to be upgraded to business class. Your dedicated consultant will be able to come back to you within hours and will tell you how much is the price difference. Some of you may want to break away from the group and want to stay for a few more days into UAE or go somewhere else. From there, we will be able to. So anything like this, you know, our decisions very quick, very knowledgeable expert team, whether it's products, as operations, sales. Like I said, I'm 58 countries, more than 20 years in the industry, have worked for some of the finest airlines of the world, and I've been thrown from places to places because I was managing regions and areas as area manager and regional manager before joining Indus Travel. Guaranteed competitive rates, as you can see. We are 19 years in business, established in 2001, almost going to be 20 years now. Genuine industry recognized consumer protection system. Our rating on BBB is A+, and our rating and ranking is also maintained by an independent company, which is called FIFO. And, you know, if it can go up by the same token, if we do not give any good review, it can come down. But thanks God, for last 3 years that, you know, FIFO is managing, we have been holding on to gold category. That means when it comes to product, our rating is 4.65 or 4.75 out of 5. When it comes to product, we are between 4.63 and 4.7. So it gives us the gold rating on FIFO. And it can, like I said, that, you know, if we get good reviews or good, you know, testimonial, it goes up. By the same token, it may also come down. This is the online link, which Paul will be able to share with you either in an email or on his website, whereby you will be able to not only look at all the details that I've explained to you, more than the brochure, because brochure still does a limitation of 4 or 5 pages. But here we have included the picture of the hotels, one external, one internal, what's included, not included, all details of the thing you'll be able to look. Not only that, you can look at the details, but then you can also go ahead and make your own thing over there. That means you will be entering your personal details, your first and last name, your date of birth. You can upload your passport copies, and you can also go ahead and make your deposits and your balance payment. And we accept Visa and MasterCard, and we do not charge anything extra for accepting your credit cards. American Express are not accepted, but Visa and MasterCards are welcome. We also will have given you already, a dedicated consultant at our head office, and his name is Binoy. He is the one who also handled Australia for you guys. Some of you, you may be familiar with his name. He's available on a toll-free number and also available on email. The moment somebody will call him and say, I'm from Salinas Valley, he knows exactly what trip we are talking about. And that's why we give you dedicated consultants instead of you calling and speaking to anybody, because that anybody may not know the details. And by the time he comes to know you, a lot of time is killed. So we give a dedicated consultant with a toll-free number and an email address. Passport is required, obviously, with a 6 months validity from the day you depart. That means the day you will depart UAE on the 13th day, on that day, your passport must be valid for 6 months, and you must have at least 2 blank pages in your passport. Visa is not required for United States passport holder, neither to South Africa nor to United Arab Emirates. Travel insurance is highly recommended. If you can get it along with the COVID, is the best. But if not, then you can still take, your travel insurance, which in Paul's language is called break-a-leg insurance. That means, you book something, you paid something a day before departure, something happened, something bad happened to yourself or to your immediate family member. You broke a leg, you hurt yourself, something happened. The insurance will take its premium and return your money back to you, because this is beyond your control, break a leg kind of, situation. If you can connect, your COVID also over there, that is very highly recommended. As a matter of fact, travel insurance is a thing without which a majority of countries are not allowing you to travel. Health concerns at this point in time, there is a COVID situation like most of the rest of the world. It also exists in South Africa. We are still talking about a trip which is 3 months and 20 days away. One important factor that is happening, that yes, there is a COVID situation, but remember that South Africa is one country, unfortunately, where there's a huge gap between the affluent people and the rest of the population. And when you go on a trip like this, you are kind of secluded from the rest of the population. So you are on your own group traveling. When you arrive in Johannesburg, you're going on your own coach. You're not mingling with people, checking in a 4-star, luxury hotel. Then you're taken the next day morning on a coach and you're going all the way on the outskirts of Kruger National Park, and you are not intermingling with people again over there, except if you went for shopping or something like this, and you are supposed to wear the mask. Social distancing is supposed to be maintained. You will require, as of today, you will require a negative PCR or a COVID test taken under 72 hours of your arrival, in South Africa. So, about a day before you depart, you're supposed to take a test which has to be negative, and you are supposed to be present.
So, Saeed, let me jump in for a second on that. So is that the requirement by the United States to get back in the U.S.?
No, United States we don't know the situation of United States, how it will turn out.
Well, I know it because
Africa.
I just did it. But when you said a negative PCR test taken 72 hours of arrival, so after we get there to South Africa, that's when we have to take it?
Yes, before you arrive, you have to take that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's a COVID test.
All right. So,
they're asking where the PCR test is taken. Whether they do it at our hotel or do at the airport, or
no, you are supposed to do it in US before you depart. To do a test in the United States and carry the result in your hand, and you show it to the authorities at the immigration when you arrive in South Africa.
Right. So let me jump in on that and say, I just went to Costa Rica. When I went to Costa Rica, sometimes there's conflicting information, Saeed, because I sent all the information out and my friend went and thought, oh crap, I got to get one of these tests. And she ran out and paid for it and she got it. Her sister went to Costa Rica and they didn't check it. I read it and I didn't think I needed it. I didn't get it either. They didn't ask for the PCR test. We're going to have to re-verify before we go because they may change the situation.
Exactly. That's what I said.
What happened when I came back from Costa Rica was the United States, in order to accept me back into her loving arms, required me to get not a PCR test, because a PCR test takes a couple days to get the results. I had to do a negative antigen test, which takes 15 minutes. But they wanted me to go to the airport 4 hours before my flight to do this 15-minute test, which cost me $65. And then that paper that says you're negative for the antigen, then with that, they let me board the flight to come back to the US. So this is all what things are like now. We'll see what it's like 3 months from now, and we would help you deal with that. But basically, if you got COVID, they don't want you. If you get it when you're over there, they don't want you to come back. So you have to do these tests. We're all going to be vaccinated to be able to go on the trip and whatnot. So it shouldn't be necessarily a concern, but this is the policies of the government right now to allow us to travel.
Absolutely, you're right on the thing. You know, that is how it is at the present.
And hold on, what was your question? Yeah, I went to Costa Rica. Yeah, but you know what though? Wherever it is you're going in the world, what it's like today, it may be different 3 months from now. But we're giving you an idea of what things are like now, right? Okay, so go ahead, Saeed.
All right. The South African currency is called the rands, which I spoke in the beginning. As of today, $1 will get you about 14.5 rands. The UAE currency is called dirhams, and $1 will get you 3.67 dirhams. And again, like I said, UAE is not changing. It has not changed in the last 20 years because they piggyback on the US dollar. So, you know, that rate has remained constant for 20 years. It's 3.2.
Saeed, that doesn't mean anything to me. I need you to speak to me. And how much does a beer cost? Like, is the cost of things generally the same as the US, cheaper or more expensive?
In South Africa, it's cheaper, and UAE it's similar to the United States.
All right. He said in South Africa things are cheaper than the US. In the United Arab Emirates, it's about the same. Yeah, because all that stuff, I'm like, I don't know what that means. How much is a beer? Thank you.
And can we use credit cards?
I'm gonna talk. I'll talk about all that stuff myself. Go ahead, Saeed.
All right. So average temperatures in the month of November that you will go will be in the range of 75 degrees average temperature. The high temperature will be 86 if you ever go to that one, and the lower can be as low as 64 Fahrenheit. There will be 8 hours of sunshine, and the rainfall is going to be very minimal. As a matter of fact, there will be no rain, sunshine at all. Dubai, the average weather in the—
Oh wait, no sunshine?
Sorry, no rain.
No rain. That's all right. Just make your brain and your mouth say the same thing.
Sure. Again, in Dubai, the average temperature in the month of November is 76. High can be 88. The low can be 66. Dubai hardly ever sees any rains. Daytime temperature will be in the range of 80. Night temperature will be in the range of 79. And you have 9 hours of sunshine in the month of November.
So what that tells me is I can wear my 2-piece bikini. I translate everything to things that matter to me. Yeah, all of the hotels will have air conditioning.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, Dubai hotels are some of the best hotels in the world. You know,
Laura, I like to say we stay in 4-star hotels, which is 2 stars more than I'm used to. Go ahead, Saeed.
Okay, do we have time for this 3 and 2 minutes of video presentation?
Yeah, why don't we hold off on that for a moment, because I want to make a few comments, and then I'd love to see the videos. The videos are cool. I watched the Dubai one. I'm like, cool, let me go there. But let me hit a few other logistical things to supplement what Saeed has said. Saeed, do you want to just shut your screen off for a second so that the people online can look at my beautiful face, and then we'll bring it back up in just a moment? Thank you. All right, there, so I can see all their pictures of their faces. The link to the website that he shared, I could pull it up where you register. It's on the Salinas Chamber website right now. So if you go to salinaschamber.com, it says there's a box that says Chamber Travel. You click that, you'll see the whole brochure. You'll see a link to register. That takes you over to Indus, and then you can start filling out all your information. You can choose your side option trips, all that stuff, and it'll take you through the whole thing. So the link is already up on our website. A couple of points I wanted to make. A nice thing about Indus is they allow you to pay for the entire amount with your credit card. Other places, because they typically have to pay a fee of 2 to 3%. So other places, a lot of times they'll let you pay part of it, but not the whole thing. But Indus will let you pay the whole thing, which is nice because we like to rack up those miles, right? Before we go on the trip, and this trip will be big enough that I will do this, we do what I call a pre-trip information night. We get back together here, but it's not everybody who's considering it, it's everybody who signed up. And then we will go, Saeed isn't generally part of this, I lead it myself, but I'll answer all of your questions. Like Tom said, well, can we use our credit card? And so I will talk to you about the best ways to change your money. And you can ask all those questions like, is there a hair dryer in the hotel? And at that point, we're getting close to packing and all that last stuff comes up. But I mentioned we build friendships. So I also want people to know, oh, who's going on the trip? And, forgive me, but I'll probably buy you cheap Costco pizza again. And we'll hang out and I'll answer all those last minute questions. We usually do that within a month of when we depart. Okay. Normally, and Rita, we'll get to your question in just a second. I see your hand there. I did not promise that we would get shuttles from here to SFO, which I normally do, because I thought we might have a very small group with this trip. However, based on the number of people here, which I counted 28 people in person and like 10 online. So I think we're going to end up with enough people going on this trip that what I typically do, and I'm expecting to do it, but we have to see how many people register, is I will pay for a bus that will pick us up here and will take us to SFO, and we'll figure out what time we meet based on when the flight leaves and all that stuff. But we would take you over there. And for the main group, I would also cover that coming back. If people decide to change and say, Saeed said, oh, you can stay extra days if you want, or that's fine. If you want to do things like that, you can ask them, we call it a trip deviation, and you'll say, I want to return from this airport on this date. And Indus will tell you the change in airfare. The only thing is I'm not taking you home. I'm going with the group and I'll come back with the main group. So I expect to have the shuttle included with all that. And let's see, I would like, Saeed, I would like you to talk a little bit more about the insurance. He talked about it a lot. What I want to add is you do not have to get the insurance through this carrier. So Indus is a travel company. They don't sell insurance themselves. They work with an insurance partner and you can buy it from them. Saeed, I didn't hear you say, and you may have said it and I didn't hear it, but did you say anything about the cost of the insurance of this trip?
They're not offering. The reason is because the insurance, we are still negotiating to cover COVID-19, and we do not want to offer an insurance which is not covering COVID-19. So we are still negotiating. If we negotiate a good price, I'll let you know. Otherwise, people will have to buy their own.
Okay, so I have seen it sometimes where the insurance was like $600. This was also prior to COVID. So when that happened on one of our previous trips, what a lot of people did is they started checking around, and somebody got it from AAA, somebody got it from another one. So you can get the trip insurance from wherever you want. We'll see what number they're able to negotiate, but you don't have to be held to it. And they don't really care because they're selling the trip. They're not selling the insurance. So I want you all to have the best experience. So if you end up finding a place that gives good insurance and you're happy with it, send the info to me. I mentioned if I get all of your emails, addresses and whatnot, I'll share that info with you all by email. So I wanted to share that about the insurance. So Saeed, I know we want to show the videos and I think we can, but is it okay if
you want to give her the opportunity?
Yeah, Rita, go ahead.
Hold on, Paul, so just a couple of questions. There's been recent news that there's been riots in South Africa because of some political upheaval. I mean, obviously we don't know what's going to happen in 3 months, but anything there that somebody should be concerned about?
Okay, I have.
And then just.
I have actually a news clip that I have placed on my last slide, but I'll skip and I'll show it to you now. I was going to show it towards the end, but I'll show it to you now. Okay. So can I go ahead and share my screen again, Paul?
Sure, go ahead. Bye.
So this is this is the description of the 2021 South African.
We can't see it yet. Did you share it, Saeed?
Yeah, I did. Are you not able to see it?
We cannot see it. So you're still a co-host, so share your screen and hopefully we'll be able to see it.
Okay, give me 1 second, please.
All right, I'll tap dance in the interim. All right, now we can see it.
Okay, all right, sorry.
That's all right.
So this is a clip actually that I've taken. The riots and protests took place in South Africa, from July 9 to July 17, 2021, in response to the arrest of former President Jacob Zuma. The riots triggered wild riots. That means what I'm trying to say over here is history already, because there is forces out on the street. And as of today, we are talking on almost, approaching July 22nd. This is now come to rest. It is not happening anymore. So it's a thing of past from July 9 to July 17. This is when it happened. And yes, 242 people died and everything. And as you know, that things can happen in any part of the world, anytime. What I'm trying to do over here is I'm answering the question to Rita, and I'm saying that this is an actual clip, and it's saying it was a thing of past. It's not happening anymore. And we are 3 months away. That clear?
Well, and I want to give a slightly different answer to that question. There a number of years ago, we were going on a trip to Greece, and we were also going to go to part of Turkey. And there was a bombing at an airport in Turkey. It wasn't where we were going, but it was close. And so I talked to a travel partner to have contingency plans because we were concerned. At that time, Greece had all of this tumult about, leaving the European Union, and people were burning tires in the street and stuff like that. So we had a contingency plan in case anything happened where we were going to move to a different hotel or anything like that. All I'm going to tell you, we generally don't talk to that stuff to that level of detail with the travelers, but I will tell you, I watch everything. Diane, do I watch everything? I watch everything. So if there's any issues like that, in my mind, kind of the worst case scenario is we might move somewhere else within the country. A lot of times the touristy areas, we're kind of far removed from a lot of that stuff. We're going to be going to the Kruger National Park and other things like that. So I don't think it should affect us. And for the country, they want to make sure that they can protect the tourists coming in because we represent a lot of money. So I think we should be fine. We have to understand that the world is what the world is, and we can't control everything. And you know what? What I told people at that time when there was the bombing in the Turkey airport, I said, if you want to be safest, probably just don't leave your house. Let's be real. You get dry crossing the street, but everybody has to travel at the level of comfort that they have. We're going to an area that, they had that now, but we're not going for another 3 months. I feel like we should be fine. The question mark is with COVID and, Delta and what's going on with that. And, we're relatively okay in this country, but we're still even, uncertain about stuff like that. So I will tell you, I told you, I just got back from Costa Rica. I've been out. I'm planning, quite a lot of trips in the fourth quarter of this year, make it up for lost time, and some groups that, we were paid and planning to go places. We're going to Spain and Portugal in October, as well as this trip. And then I'm personally going to Egypt as well. So I feel comfortable with it. If you don't feel comfortable, hey, we understand. We all have to have our own level of comfort with wherever you're going. If you're going with a group like us, you're safer when you're traveling because we're together and we have guides and we stay in nicer hotels than I would stay with staying personally. But anyway, I think so. Saeed, the other thing I want you to talk about before we show any videos is the registration deadline, the payment deadline. And Saeed, I popped downstairs to look at my desk. I'd never got the paper registration form. So while we're talking tonight, if you have the paper registration form, I'd like you to email it to me because I'll pop down and I'll print it out in case people want to give a payment in person tonight. But let's talk about, do you have that?
No, honestly, I'll have to make it. I'll give it to you by tomorrow morning if that is okay.
All right. Well, we'll make it work. I usually like to take people's money whenever they have it, but we've got a couple hands up here. But before we get to your questions, hold just a moment longer. Saeed, can you talk about the deadlines for registration and
Sure.
for final payment?
So you see, usually you have to pay a deposit of $500 if you're talking a trip in advance. But here, the final payment has to come through in 90 days before departure. So between now and 90 days, which is just like about how many days? 13 days away or 12 days away?
It's August 5th. I looked it up. August 5th.
Yeah. So, you will actually be, if you do not want to go between now and 12 days, you can take your money back. No question asked, you can take your money back. Once you arrive within the 90 days, A is that your final payment is required. And B is that it is non-refundable unless if something happened whereby we have to call it off. So that means, for example, God forbid, the COVID situation went again bad and like everything had to close down or the flight stopped or something. As far as the tour is operating, it becomes non-refundable once under 90 days. Before 90 days, there's no question asked and it is done.
All right, so Saeed, let me add to that if I may. I am Mr. Straight Shooter, no bullshit. So here's the deal. Normally we would do this well ahead of time, and $500 would secure your seat, and then normally you have a few months to be able to pay the balance, right? Right now, that 90 days beforehand is August 5th. So we only have a few weeks before the whole amount needs to be paid. About the insurance and getting your money back and things like that, we're only a couple weeks away. I would probably hold off and let me know that you want to go on the trip. Maybe you could give the $500 if you want, but make the full payment at the very end. You can do it on your credit card. If you're traveling or something and you want to get it done a few days early, that's fine. I would just wait until then. I don't think if something happens and they have all your money, don't plan on getting it back from them. Now, if you got insurance, I'm just being straightforward. If you got insurance, you have to be careful because some of those insurance companies, they will create all these problems and they'll be like, oh, give me this. Or we didn't get your paperwork and send this. And, I'm helping somebody go through one of those things. They have this form that the doctor has to fill out saying why they can't go. And I just fully expect the insurance company to complain about it because they're dealing with all of these COVID and all that. Their job is to take your money, not to give it back. So, that said, some of the insurance companies are great. And I know a number of people who have told me, we got our money back, everything was good. So you just want to be smart about that. Generally speaking, when you buy the trip insurance, you can't pay for the trip and wait a month and then get the insurance. It doesn't work that way. You usually have to buy the insurance within a certain number of days. And it depends on the carrier, but I'm going to say usually 7 days to 14 days. Saeed, you can tell me if that's correct or not.
14 days.
14 days. So just be mindful of that and be understanding that those people who around the world who are planning to travel before COVID happened, and then COVID happened and they all said, oh, we want our money back. Imagine how the insurance companies felt. They're like, oh crap, we can't give up. It's like a run on the banks, right? Question. So they have theirs. The question is about which recommended insurance. So Saeed said that they're still working on theirs. And Saeed, I'd like to get the information from yours. And have any of you already researched, or Diane, did you insure your trips recently, or did you do it through the partner? Or okay, so I have not looked into it for this personally, but I mentioned before that AAA, people use them. I've got some notes below of some others that people told me they got it through. I'll send that to folks when I can, if I have your email addresses. So Marty asked online, what is the last day to pay in full? I believe it's August 5th, which is 90 days before the departure date of November 3rd. Here's the other thing. What if you don't sign up by then? What if you come back or you have a friend who wants to join later? The price may change, right? So if you sign up by and pay by August 5th, then you get this, what I'm going to call a smoking deal, to get to go to all those places and, live on the airplane for a couple days. You get that deal. If someone wants to join after, then it's not guaranteed. What we'll do is we'll submit a request and they may say, oh, yeah, it's $500 more now or something like that. So that's my answer to that. And Saeed, we're going to go ahead and answer questions now, if that's okay. And Laura, go ahead. So Saeed, the question is about vaccinations or shots. Are they necessary for this trip?
Yeah, at this point, yes, you have to be fully vaccinated before you arrive in South Africa or
COVID vaccinated. So I'll give a different answer. Yeah, I don't, generally speaking, I don't think so because we're not going into the tropical rainforest and stuff like that. We can check on the CDC website and say, okay, we want to go there. And a lot of times they recommend all kinds of stuff. But generally speaking, we're going to metropolitan areas. We'll have to check about Kruger National Park. So I'll follow up. Saeed, do you know, are there recommendations for like malaria for going to Kruger or anything like that?
No, not anymore. It's not required, actually.
Yeah, so I don't think so, but we'll check with the CDC website and see what the recommendations are.
You will check and get back to us.
Yeah, I will check. Give me a couple days because Daddy's got a lot of work to do right now. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, of course. We all love you, Laura. Did you already look up that stuff? Okay, so you know what? I would just hang tight for a week or two. Those things change frequently. Right. So it also depends where you're going. And like he said, I mean, he showed a news clipping that, that ended a couple of days ago. But I would say we do have a couple of weeks and watch that stuff. If you don't feel comfortable, then that's okay. No harm, no pressure, but watch that stuff. Let me go ahead and ask questions. Go ahead. Yeah. Yes. The money from that will go over to this one. And we tried to pick a trip that was about the same amount. You saw there's a lot of optional excursions and things like this. So we'll make sure if you don't already have the records of how much you paid, let me know. We'll make sure you have that. But all of that money applies to this trip. Okay, thanks for the question. Yes. Yes, typically there are. And I will tell you, when people say, oh, how much is it to go to business class? My experience for a flight across the big water, $5,000. Yeah. Hey, you know what? Some people pay it. And I'm like, let's be friends. Drinks on you. It's not cheap, but what we would do is we would ask them, what are the options for upgrades? Yeah. So the question is, do they get a discount for paying cash? Well, we don't take cash because, yeah, they're not going to take cash either unless they're based in Canada. So I don't think Oh, do you? So I don't think there's any discount, but Saeed, is there a cash discount?
No, there's no cash discount.
There's not, but thanks for the question. Okay. Any other questions in the room? Come.
The riots that went on. Did they happen in any of the areas that we're looking at?
Thank you, Saeed. The question is whether the riots that happened, whether they were in any of the areas where we will be visiting.
No, they happened in an area called Natal, and it was, nowhere close to any of the cities we are going. So
The short answer is no, not where we're going.
Yeah.
Was it in Soweto? Okay. You know what? I've been so busy. When people start saying stuff, I'm like, is something going on in South Africa? Yeah, I didn't even get through the whole thing. So. Okay. Yeah, Marty's question, last day to obtain travel insurance is 14 days before leaving. No, it is not 14 days before leaving. It is within 14 days of when you sign up for the trip. Important distinction, because they don't want you to pay for the trip. And then something happened later and you're like, I need that travel. I need a refund. I better buy that insurance. The $500 is the deposit. If you're gonna buy the insurance through them or anybody else, from when you make that initial deposit, yeah, you got to get the insurance with then. Yeah.
So since we're now projecting on the 8th to get the full amount,
Yeah.
it would be from that date.
Well, if you sign up on that date, then yeah.
Isn't that what you're suggesting?
Yeah, that is what I'm suggesting because you never know.
We're almost there.
You never know. That's what I would do. Any questions from the folks who are online? If you can raise your hand or just unmute yourself and ask. Are you all extras on the spot, or do you need to pre-register for the extras? Okay, thank you, Christina. So I think when you say extras, you mean the optional excursions. So do we need to pre-register? Thank you. So you should pre-register if you want to be sure to go. You might be able to get it in the country, but what they do is Saeed and Indus is not in the country. They have different travel partners, so they will coordinate that stuff with the travel partners, and they may have limited spots. Like in Costa Rica, I went to go on this super awesome tour. There were 3 of us, and they only had 2 spots left. So one piggy stayed home, and the other ones went. So you might be able to get it there, but it's kind of better if you can look through it and figure those out. Remember also, we've been recording this, so I will send an email with the presentation and this whole thing. If you're bored or you're slow like me and you missed parts, you can rewatch it because we've been recording it. If you're like, what do we do on that one again? Can you fast forward me? Yes, you can, Tom. Tom, oh, yes, you can. I can give it, but I can take it. Go ahead. Yes, please. You know what? If you don't mind emailing me his information, I'll tell you about passports. Right now, if you need your passport to be renewed, you need to get it in the mail now because mine needs to be renewed. I'm going to Spain departing October 15th. And they say, even if you pay the expedited amount for renewing your passport, 12 weeks. So I ran the numbers and I'm like, oh crap, that's a few days before we leave. So I got that baby in the mail right away. So there's other options where you can get it sooner, but they're not easy. Like you may have to try to get an appointment and drive over there and blah, blah, blah. Don't delay. If you need to get your passport renewed, do it now. And remember, he said 6 months beyond the date of travel.
The day of return.
The day of return. Yeah, if you can go to San Francisco, then you can do that. Rita, go ahead. Okay, class not dismissed yet. Rita, go ahead with your question. Thank you.
Yes, you talked about passports, but any visa required for South Africa for US nationals?
So Saeed, the question is whether we need a visa, and I believe the answer is no.
No, there's no visa required for neither Dubai nor South Africa.
All right, thank you, Saeed. Other questions? We'll start to wrap up the questions. I know Saeed wants to show these videos, but I wanted to make sure we got through all the meat and potatoes of things. Go ahead, Tom. Yep. Yep. Yeah, so for the people who paid for Australia, and I mean, it's none of our fault. Maybe it might have been Terry's fault for going to China. that COVID came about. So they have the money. What they're doing, if the folks who paid for Australia don't want to go on this trip, they're giving a voucher that's good for 2 years. So all this year, all next year. Right? That's what Saeed and I have discussed. Well, you know what? That's a good question. Let's hope that the world is normal. I don't know what to say about that, except that's what we worked out with them. Pardon me? Oh, they wouldn't. So you submitted a claim with them and they didn't give you a reimbursement. Okay, I know some. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so maybe they'll apply it toward this one. Okay, thanks.
There was someone who had a problem with their insurance company that handled all of that. I'm sorry, whoever that was who was speaking earlier.
Yeah.
That might be a good area to consider.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm serious. That was pre-COVID too, so all bets are off. Dahlia. So I'm not sure. Saeed, do we know exactly the people who had signed up to pay for Australia? How late can they use the travel voucher if they don't go on this trip? We can't hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
whenever they want to book it.
Yeah, but if they want to do it in 2023, is that okay?
No, this year and next year.
So through the end of 2022, December 2022. Yeah, so Saeed, when will you have the numbers on your negotiations with your insurance company? Because obviously we don't have a lot of time and we need to be able to figure out whether people have to figure out the insurance themselves or the price with yours. Do you know when you guys are going to figure that out?
I can answer that question. I will ask my boss and I'll let you know tomorrow.
All right. Other questions? Oh, thank you. I'm giving you my guys my back this whole and this bald spot that I get that I don't look at because I don't want to look at. All right, sorry, go ahead.
For COVID, if it came back positive,
Right. Yeah, I'm like, hey everybody, there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is Missy tested positive for COVID. The good news is that all of us are staying here 2 more weeks. So I mean, it's a good question. I mean, if that happened, no, the whole group is not gonna the change. We would have to figure it out with you what to do if you know. Well, you know, Missy, I'll stay there with you. You buy the drinks. I'll stay with you, but I don't know about the rest of you. I mean, it is a concern, right? Like if you go somewhere and you end up getting stuck there, like when I was getting my negative test back in Costa Rica, I'm like, well, I hope I can get on this damn plane and go on. So. Anyway, okay, any
I
Tom?
was going to say, I was in Puerto Vallarta, and the day before we left, they actually at the hotel did one of the COVID tests. You can just take that right to the airport.
Yeah, so I'll see what I can arrange. If you have, thank you for that, because I know that's happened with other people. So we might be able to see about whether they could come to the hotel and because we'll have a big enough group to be able to do it. So with all that, I'm going to say one other thing. There's a couple of pieces of info that I think we need to have. And I think you guys could go on our website, look at those other excursions, things like that. We've got a little bit of time before, but not a lot. Saeed's homework is to let us know the cost of that insurance. I will relay it to you as soon as I have it. The other thing is if you want to be able to pay, they've really got it set up to go to the website and handle it all there. If you want to come in person because you don't really do the computer, then just come inside, here. Either I will be here or Philip is my operations manager. He'll help you fill out the paperwork. And I think they also, Saeed, do you have them upload their passports on the website? Is that part of the registration process?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So
But
if
it
you have
doesn't have to be on the spot. I mean, you can do your registration without passport, but then in due course, we need also the passport copies to come.
Yeah. So here's with the passport. If you have a smartphone, take a picture of it, send it to me, and I'll get it over to them. You swing by the office. We'll scan it for you. I already have yours from before because you did with us. So I have yours. As long as yours is valid, I didn't delete those. Yeah. So good. So for a number of you, if you're repeat travelers for me, I probably already have it for you. But my point is, you can come by here, and I'll have Philip help you if you need help with that. Yeah. August 5th is the final payment deadline. So final because it's 90 days before we leave. Yeah. So the $500 is normally what you would give right now. Yeah. I'm recommending, you know what? Let's not worry about the deposits. I'm going to tell you that we're going to work it out and we'll all be able to fit with the number of people we have here. Now, Saeed said something about they like to have a group of 20 and they'll split it up into 2 buses. All right. I'm going to talk with him about that. I prefer to keep the group under 40, which it will be, I expect, because I want you all to fit on 1 bus and I can manage a group of 40. When I manage a group of 80, that means Paul goes back and forth between the buses. Paul ain't on vacation. Paul's taking care of all his little chickadees, you know? So I'll talk with him though. If we end up with 40 people and we do 2 buses and I'll go back and forth, I'll figure that out. But the main thing you should know is if you want to go, let's get the full payment in by August 5th. Let's not worry about the $500 deposit. And you'll need to get your insurance by then too. So if you want to get it. Yep.
See, the reason we say August the 5th is because, as a matter of fact, it's August the 4th. The reason
August
is because,
4th?
yeah, it has to be August the 4th, because we have to issue the tickets on August the 5th. If we want to, because we have a bulk arrangement with the airline, right? So if we must be able to give the names and issue the tickets on August the 5th of everybody who is going.
All right. So August 4th that's 2 weeks from today. And Carol, I'm sorry, what was your question? And I realized if I said one thing, I'm changing it. Right. So that's his work to like figure that out ASAP. Yeah, we need to know. I wouldn't give your deposit. If you want to get all that stuff, figure it out. Like, let's get it from him. So that'll be Saeed's job number one to get that to us, and I'll get that info to you. Yeah.
The name of the gentleman that we can talk to.
His name is Benoy. But you know what? For now, just send me your stuff and I'll connect you. I'll either answer your question directly or I'll send it to him.
Because we were talking about maybe leaving a day early.
If you want to do any of that,
we need to figure all that out before the 4th.
Yeah, yes. Figure it out. Let me know. I'll send it to him. I'll connect you with Benoy. All right. With all that said, thank you for your patience. I've been talking a lot. We had a lot of questions, a lot of answers. Saeed, do you guys want to watch Saeed's videos? Sure. All right, Saeed, go ahead and take back over and let's watch your videos. And I lied to you guys. I said 7:30. Whatever. We're spending the night here. All right, slumber party. All right, we'll see how well we can hear. Ooh, South Africa.
Can you hear it at all?
We cannot, but I will narrate. Oh, look, buildings and a beach. Oh, more buildings. Oh, and if you want to work or you're an artist, oh, look, I got paint on my face. Oh, I love this Purell. Oh, are there sharks in these waters? Oh, well, okay, I'm not going to touch that one. Okay. Oh, the river, waterfall. Please don't get too close. Hey, I'm your driver. Where you want to go? Hi, how are you, ma'am? No, we're good. No dance hall for us. Hop up on an elephant and see Africa. Yeah, don't worry. The mosquitoes, we don't have those. This is just a normal bed. Yeah. All right. Oh, and could be again. All right. Okay. I don't know what they're showing us. Okay, handsome old man with wind blowing through his hair. Oh, we can go. I don't. Carol, are you gonna go surfing? There we go. Oh, it's saying below. Here we go. So. Okay. Some marketing people decided this is what really makes people want to go to South Africa. Okay, we won't be doing that. Can you imagine?
By the water.
There we go. Now we can hear it.
And years later, you'll find that the call of the hippo still seems to echo through your heart. You will meet South Africa, and you'll never be the same again.
You'll meet South Africa, and you will never be the same again. Oh. We all look like that, don't we?
South Africa and the things you experience here will change the way you see the world and the way you live your life.
Everything you see here will change the way you see the world and the way you live your life. They're setting the bar pretty high.
Because when you open your arms to embrace this country, you'll find that the you who leave South
Because
Africa
when you open your arms to embrace this company,
you who arrived. Because
the you who leave South Africa won't be the same you who arrived.
That none of it, not one little bit, is ordinary.
You'll find that not one bit of South Africa, not one bit of South is ordinary. Okay, all kinds of stuff we're not doing. If people to get you to come. So. All right, let's watch the Dubai one. I watched the Dubai one. I thought that one was better. Dubai's crazy. All right, here's Dubai. But go ahead and play it. If they can't hear the audio, I just make my own up. Okay, it's dinner time for that bird. Okay, we won't be doing that. Maybe Laura will do that. That's how we're arriving to Dubai. This is Mission Impossible 7. Yeah, wow, that's crazy. All right. Paragon. They actually do a lot of falconry over there. I heard about that. Cirque du Soleil. Yes, I'll dance for you. All right. There's actually something really cool that maybe I'll send you in an email about for people who scuba dive. They built like the deepest indoor pool in the world, and my friend was showing me. He said, "I will fly to Dubai to see you just to do that." And it's amazing. They built like this whole underwater world where people will scuba dive and know how to do that. I know, think not. Scuba diving's for Karen. Yeah, so obviously we're not going out as much in the desert and all that. I imagine it just seeing the remarkable buildings and all the money that they spend over there. Yeah. So when you're there, you can do some research and do your own things, or you can go on their tours to see what you can buy. All right. Everything any of us has heard about Dubai is just how crazy it is. Were you there? Yeah, and how was it? Is it crazy? And did you fly in on the paraglider like in the video? No? I thought it was you. All right. All right. So Christina's going to bed. Keep her on the okay, good. Okay. I forgot that Christina was chatting with me and you all could read that. Now, thank you for your time. Any final questions before we all go? Because I know some of us got to get in jammies and go mimis. Any final questions? No. So United Emirates refers to, yeah. No, I don't think so. Yeah, so generally speaking, you can't do that on a group trip like this, but you generally can get credit for the airline miles for your own. United Airlines is not related to the airline that we're going on. I don't think so. I don't think so, but we'll double check with Saeed. Yep. Bye, Ursula. Go ahead. Yeah, so we're gonna have some free time while we're there, and you'll have to figure out: do you want to go on their tour of Dubai? Do you want to go do your own thing? There's gonna be so much stuff to do in so little time, so we'll have to like figure it out ahead of time. So like you can do whatever you want with the time that you have. You just have to figure it out. Yeah. Oh yeah. Any last questions? Saeed Parker, I know it's a different time zone over there. I know you're tired. Thank you for everything. I will follow up, and your homework is get that info on the insurance to me as soon as you can, okay?
Sure, I will.
All right, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and shut off I'm going to shut this off. Thank you, Saeed.
Thank you, bye now.